Ladies and gentlemen, we are eating good this fall in the month of October. The boss man himself, Dana White, last night on IG Live just dropped some heat. Okay, he just announced some bangers for UFC 320 and UFC 321. Aspinall versus Gane in Abu Dhabi, October 25th, and October 4th, T-Mobile Arena, Ankalaev, Pereira 2. Finally, this rematch has been a long time coming. It's kind of weird to me though that the Dagestani fighter, the Dagestani champion who calls the shots, isn't headlining in Abu Dhabi. Like, in my opinion, I think Aspinall should be headlining the T-Mobile Arena pay-per-view. But whatever. I mean, last year, Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway headlined an Abu Dhabi pay-per-view, and I mean, neither Max or Ilia are Muslim fighters, or neither of them are fighters from the Caucasus region. Well, Ilia is Georgian, but then he's also Spanish, but whatever. But man, UFC 320, UFC 321, these are some great fights. Magomed Ankalaev, Alex Pereira 2. Alex has been kind of stalling this rematch, you know? He's been offered this rematch several times and declined. But now he's finally accepted it, and I mean, I do kind of see what Pereira is doing here, because he's been so active in the last year, probably was dealing with a lot of burnout, and maybe that's his excuse for losing the first time. We'll find out. But now he's taking time to rest, to do some soul searching, to regroup physically, spiritually, mentally. And we'll see if we're going to see a refreshed version of Poatan and a more dangerous Poatan headed into this rematch. Either we're going to see redemption for Alex Pereira, or we just may very well be entering in a new era in the 205 division. Magomed Ankalaev, in my opinion, for years has been the uncrowned light heavyweight champion. He got done dirty against Jan Blachowicz in 2022. And I personally think that if they had got that decision right back then, I doubt Alex Pereira was going to be the two-division champion. Alex kind of got lucky that Jan and Ank ended in a split draw, because what happened? It allowed for Jamal and Glover to fight for the vacant belt, and then Jamal gets yeeted in a basketball game, blows out his ankle or his Achilles tendon in a basketball game, which then led to another vacant light heavyweight title fight, not involving Ankalaev, which it should have, but it didn't. Instead, it was Yuri Prohaska, Alex Pereira, and of course, because Yuri is tailor-made for Alex Pereira to beat stylistically, Alex Pereira became a two-division champion. And you know what? Hey, he made the most of this opportunity, and he became a big star because of it, right? But he's been putting off this matchup like the first time they were supposed to fight. Okay, he fights Jamal Hill next. After he smoked Hill, he should have fought Ankalaev. Instead, he fights Yuri again. Okay, then after Yuri, it should have been Ankalaev at the end of 2024, and he still fought somebody else. Okay, he ended up fighting Khalil Rountree, who at the time didn't deserve the title shot. Like, the UFC, they literally offered Ankalaev a fight with Alexander Rakic that was completely unnecessary. And then, like, a month later, they called up Alex Pereira to save UFC 307 and fight Khalil, while Magomed already had a fight booked. They did that as an excuse to milk Pereira's title reign, because they knew Magomed Ankalaev was and is a bad matchup for Alex Pereira, because he's southpaw. He's the best striker that Alex Pereira has ever gone up against, offensively, defensively. Magomed Ankalaev is a better boxer than Alex. Magomed Ankalaev has the counter-punching to threaten Alex Pereira. Alex has power, so does Magomed Ankalaev. Magomed is more complete. Magomed has the wrestling advantage. Magomed is not afraid to pressure Alex Pereira, but he's not dumb about his pressure. He's good at cutting Pereira off while not walking into that left hook. And in that last fight, he did a very good job at neutralizing two of Pereira's biggest weapons, the left hook and that calf kick. And also because Ankh was a southpaw, it made it a lot easier for him to negate the calf kicks of Alex Pereira. And because Alex Pereira's calf kicks didn't work, it didn't allow him to do anything else with his hands against Magomed Ankalaev, and he cannot box with Magomed Ankalaev. I am sorry, I know that's not what y'all want to hear, but without his calf kicks, what else is he going to be able to do to Magomed Ankalaev on the feet? Magomed sees that left hook coming from a mile away. He knows how to negate it. He knows how to defend it. He knows how to counter it. Alex knows this guy can hurt him. Alex knows this guy can counter him. I guess the only thing that Alex can take away from that last fight that can maybe boost his confidence is he was able to defend all 12 of Ankalaev's takedowns, which I guess that in itself is a moral victory, so maybe he won't fear the takedown threat this time. And I do definitely think a big thing that sort of hurt Alex was he was too timid in there against Magomed. And who knows, maybe Alex could adapt to the striking of Magomed. And if that's the case, if he comes in better adapted, better prepared, and more comfortable this time, maybe he'll have a chance to get this one back. Like, you can never count someone out as dangerous as Poatan, but I don't know, man. I feel like Poatan has an uphill battle to climb to get this one back against Magomed. It's not impossible. He could win, but I don't think so. I think Magomed Ankalaev is going to win in similar fashion to how he won the last time, but maybe he finishes Pereira this time. We'll see. I mean, he almost knocked Pereira out at the end of round 2, and Alex got saved by the bell. Last time Alex got saved by the bell and then had a rematch with that same person, we saw how that ended against Israel Adesanya. So we'll see, but I do think Magomed Ankalaev is going to keep the belt. I picked Pereira the first time, but now, after seeing that first fight, I know what I need to know about this matchup, how these two match up against each other, and I'm confident that Ankalaev does have his number. Now, the co-main event, Merab the Machine Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. Honestly, look, I'm glad Corey's getting his second shot at UFC Gold, this time undisputed. I'm happy for you, kid. But I don't really see how Sandhagen can win this fight. We're just going to be in for another Merab Dvalishvili domination. Like, Merab is Merab. Merab does what he does in every single fight. He pushes the pace against all of his opponents. He out-wrestles all of his opponents. He emotes on all of his opponents. And they just can't do nothing about it. Okay? And Corey Sandhagen literally loses every big fight that he's put in there, you know, or every big opponent that he's put in there against, he chokes. Corey Sandhagen is the notorious choker. Okay, he choked against Aljamain Sterling, not just figuratively, but literally Sterling choked him out. But you could tell he was kind of mentally defeated in that fight. He was intimidated by Aljo's aura. He choked and fumbled against Peter Yan for the interim title. And then what else? He also kind of choked in another big fight against Umar Nurmagomedov, you know, the undefeated Dagestani prospect. He choked in that one. He fumbled that one. And I can't see him doing any better against Merab Dvalishvili, who beat Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, some may argue that Corey Sandhagen is going to be a tougher fight than Sean O'Malley. I mean, maybe, but what does that matter? I don't see him as a more dangerous opponent, you know, than Sean was. Sean had that it factor of his long-range boxing and his knockout power, his sniper-like precision, his counter-punching. Corey Sandhagen doesn't have that. Okay, Corey Sandhagen doesn't typically finish guys. He's a decision machine. I mean, he can get finishes, but he has even less of a finishing threat over Merab than O'Malley did. And I'm just going to say this, if you're not finishing Merab, you're not beating him by decision, because more likely than not, you're not completely nullifying his wrestling, and you're not outworking him. And I can't see Corey doing either of those things. He may have better wrestling than O'Malley. He may have better scrambling ability than O'Malley. He might do slightly better against the wrestling than O'Malley did, but not by much. I think Merab's going to win a comfortable decision here. But who knows? Even though Merab has that aura of invincibility, Corey Sandhagen does have that underdog energy, and upsets do happen in MMA. Maybe this could be one of the bigger upsets we see in the big 2025, but I'm just not going to bank on that to happen. I think Corey Sandhagen's going to get bent over backwards in this one. And then we got Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Rountree Jr. in the feature fight. Man, this card is already perfect. This card, it's stacked. Usually this year the UFC hasn't put much effort into making good pay-per-views. They've been lacking. Not with UFC 320. We had 3 big fights. Prohaska Rountree is the feature fight. The co-main, Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. And the main event, Ankalaev Pereira 2. And this is a huge opportunity for Khalil Rountree. And I mean, this guy has elevated to a whole new level in his career after 9 years with the promotion. After having a bit of a spotty UFC career, he's finally realizing his full potential. You know, he had that title fight with Pereira. It was undeserved, but he made it a war, and he lasted longer against Pereira than Yuri did in both fights, than most of Alex Pereira's victims. He made it to round 4 with Pereira, dropped him at one point. And in his next fight, he proved that performance against Alex wasn't just some one-off fluke. Like, he got another opportunity against another former champion and a top 5 contender against Jamal Hill. He dominated him, picked him apart, and won that fight. And because of that, he gets an opportunity against the number 2 guy in Yuri Prohaska. And if he can beat Yuri, he further solidifies his claim to a title shot at 205. And if Alex Pereira, if he gets revenge on Magomed Ankalaev, we could be looking at a rematch between Pereira and Rountree early 2026, and how crazy would that be? But it's also possible that Ankh wins and Yuri wins, and we could be looking at a fresh matchup in Ankalaev versus Prohaska. Now, Rountree was able to get past Jamal Hill. Does he get past Yuri Prohaska? It's not impossible, okay? Khalil Rountree is a very good counter striker. He's faster than Yuri Prohaska. He's got those powerful leg kicks, and leg kicks are a big part of why he completely dismantled Jamal Hill. We've seen Yuri is open to low kicks. Rakic showed it. Pereira showed it in both fights. And I do kind of worry for Yuri here. He has a wide stance, and I could see Khalil Rountree chopping at those legs. And Khalil Rountree could clip Yuri Prohaska as well. But Yuri Prohaska is better than Jamal Hill. He takes more chances than Jamal Hill, which, yes, it does put him in danger, but it also puts his opponents in danger. I think he has reach on Khalil. I think he's got more power than Khalil Rountree. His striking is a lot more unorthodox. And I do think that Yuri Prohaska, maybe after getting picked apart in the first round and enduring some low kicks, maybe he could turn it up and just overwhelm. He could just overwhelm Khalil with that pressure, with that volume, and maybe put one on Rountree's chin and put him away. But man, Rountree is so tough. Rountree is so tough. It took Pereira 4 rounds to finish this guy. So I don't know. I want to say Yuri Prohaska wins this fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Khalil Rountree won a decision in this fight. Also, it's a 3-rounder, and Khalil Rountree, he's a fast starter. So is Yuri, but Yuri kind of builds into fights. He gets better as fights go on, whereas Khalil will kind of slow down. But with it being a 3-rounder, I don't know, man. But then again, Yuri is good at getting finishes early. Like, he has a lot of round 2 KOs. So we'll see. Should be an interesting one. Should be a fun one. We'll find out what happens. But dude, this card is just absolutely amazing. And then UFC 321, Aspinall versus Gane. Tom Aspinall making his first ever defense of his undisputed crown. After a full year out, enduring this entire John Jones drama, waiting to see if John Jones would fight him or not, and then John retiring, now Aspinall's back. He's finally going to fight somebody. It's not going to be Jones, but it's going to be Gane, and Gane gets his third ever undisputed title fight. But I don't know. I don't like this fight for Ciryl Gane. I don't like this fight for Ciryl Gane. He's already had 2 chances to become the undisputed champion. He's fumbled both of them. He is a former interim champion. And one pattern I notice with a couple of former interim champions, Colby Covington, former interim champion, 0-3 in undisputed title fights. Dustin Poirier, former interim lightweight champion, 0-3 in undisputed title fights. Guys, we might be looking at a heavyweight Dustin Poirier. Now, I could be wrong. I do think that Gane has a chance because striking-wise, I think he could give Aspinall a hard time. I do think he's slightly more elusive. He's hard to hit clean. He matches the athleticism of Aspinall. He might be able to keep up with Aspinall's speed. Like, on the feet, that's where Gane has a chance. But where I significantly doubt Ciryl Gane is the grappling. He got out-wrestled by Francis Ngannou in the last 3 rounds, got steamrolled by John Jones in the first round, and submitted with a guillotine against the cage. And Tom Aspinall, he is a really, really good grappler, okay? He has a massive grappling advantage over Ciryl Gane. And if he's smart and takes the path of least resistance, it's very unlikely that Ciryl Gane wins this fight. Gane does not have good takedown defense, okay? Volkov was able to get a lot of takedowns in their rematch, and I thought Volkov arguably won that fight. And I think a guy like Tom Aspinall can control Gane on the ground, and I think he could find a submission. So I'm going to take Tom Aspinall to win this fight by sub. Now, maybe another advantage I want to point out for Ciryl Gane. Another way he might be able to win this fight is we've not seen Tom Aspinall go past 2 rounds, at least not in the UFC. So we don't know how he looks in a longer fight. We've seen Gane go the distance many times. We've seen him go 5 rounds many times. If Gane could weather that early storm, maybe, just maybe, Tom Aspinall could fade and Ciryl Gane could school him in like rounds 3, 4, and 5 and win by decision like 49-46 or 48-47. That is possible. That is very possible. But he has to be able to survive the early rounds, and he has to have really good takedown defense, okay? He may have an advantage past the first 2 rounds, but I don't know if Tom Aspinall is going to let him get there, man. Tom Aspinall is very good at ending these fights very quickly, whether it's him knocking you out on the feet or him taking you down and submitting you. But it's also very possible that Tom Aspinall could prove to the world that he does have good cardio, that he can go 5 rounds, right? Tom could surprise people, and this is actually what makes this fight so interesting. Tom could show us that he's no longer just this 1-round wonder. He could kill that narrative and show that he's dangerous every round. Or Gane maybe could fraud check him. Maybe he could expose him. That's always possible. But I feel like it's more likely than not that Tom Aspinall is going to beat Gane and beat him relatively easily. But I'm not going to underestimate Ciryl Gane. It's MMA. Anything can happen. Gane is a very good fighter. He has a lot of experience. He's very tough. He's a good fighter, okay? Both these guys are good. It is a high-level fight on paper. But it's hard to go against Tom Aspinall. So I'm picking him to win. I'm picking him to defend his title. And he better win, man. Because, look, I do not want these John Jones fanboys to get the last laugh, okay? There's a lot of people out there who are hating on Tom. Tom doesn't deserve the hate that he gets. I think it's dumb. John Jones is the one who literally denied him of a shot. John Jones is the one who brought the ducking narratives on himself. But if Tom loses to Gane, which is kind of possible, not too possible, but it is possible, Tom will be the laughing stock. And I just can't have that happen, man. That will really piss me off. But we'll see. But I cannot wait for October. I cannot wait for UFC 320, for Ankalaev versus Pereira, for Dvalishvili versus Sandhagen. I mean, I kind of can wait for this one. I feel like I already know what's going to happen. I already know what's going to happen. And then, of course, I cannot wait for this fight. Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. That fight's going to be an absolute banger. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and peace out.